are all involved in my emergency plan. Welcome back to my channel, folks. It's been a while. According to the study conducted, we spend around 38% of our lives sleeping. This study definitely doesn't represent myself, and I'm sure either one of you. But in general, every day starts as a possible average day. We wake up, we prepare ourselves up to go to work or to go out to do some errands. Some of us go out for a walk, or we go out for a jogging session. We go to the mall to buy the food we might need to prepare a tasty meal for our family or just for ourselves, and then go back home. Or we go to work, because we have to work, right? As a human being, we all interact to each other during these steps. You know, the normal things that we do in life. But things can change, and something unpredictable can happen. And we need to act fast. Come on, come on!
Work at the scene of the bridge collapse has now switched from the search for bodies to a search for clues. Firefighters are working under the supervision of the prosecutor's office to collect any evidence that might help them piece together the cause of the tragedy. But working out exactly what was and therefore who is responsible might prove even more difficult.
I give you some context. My area is quite safe, but there are several bridges that connect all the small villages to our main city, and strategically can be a problem if one of them collapses, because all the alternative routes to reach hospitals, our parents, our families, etc., are very small country roads, and they will possibly become major choke points because they cannot stand a huge amount of traffic. They are very small, some of them are off-roads. This means there will be a shortage of fuel at the gas stations, and supermarkets will run out food very fast. And here where the big mess starts. My family and myself, as a good citizens, we have plenty of food and fuel at home. We live nearby farms where we can go buy some food firsthand, and we also have several sources of free clean water around our property. There's not a huge risk for us here that an atomic power plant or a chemical industrial complex can explode, spreading toxic agents and chemicals that would affect our crops or our health. But despite what Italy is famous for, our country is not in a good shape. Here in Italy, we have more than 2,000 bridges at risk to collapse, and we already faced 2 major collapses in the last year. People died, lots of logistic problems, and no one still paid for it. More than 2 million of abandoned buildings, 2 million empty houses, and 20,000 abandoned industrial complexes. Hey, we are led by politicians that keep allowing companies to build new buildings or new industrial complexes instead of renewing what already exists. And this brings a lot of issues, like old buildings that collapses with homeless people or refugees inside, bridges that collapse, killing several citizens, and the list goes on. And the taxes we pay keep filling someone's pockets instead of make our country safe. Last but not least, we have around 100,000 warehouses on sale since years. So based on what's that said, I'm going to apply one of the plans I've came up in the last year that will allow me to bug in where my family is. I call this plan Plan A. I also have the Plan B, C, and D, not just because they are less important, just because they are tailored for different scenarios that realistically can happen around here. By the end of this video, I will also share my biggest emergency plan that I call Plan AAA. So stick till the end of the video, okay? There are only 2 big bridges that connects my village and the surrounding area with my parents. One is at the opposite side of where my parents lives, and the other one is the most important one. It's the closest bridge that connects me fast with my parents. Because if something major happened, my family, my closest friends are all involved in my emergency plan. It wouldn't be just about me only. Do you agree with me? If this bridge falls down, there's not any other fast connection that will allow me to cross this huge and rough river by drive. So I have to do it by foot. This river seems to be peaceful, but it's like a silent demon. Its flow rate is around of 200 cubic meters per second. Due to its bad form and the lack of maintenance, the current creates invisible but powerful whirlpools that can drag you down to the bottom of the river in a second. So I need to find the safest section of this river that will allow me to cross it safely and then move by foot. After almost 3 hours of search for the best place to cross the river, I realized that the water level raised up more than I expected. Water was everywhere, and part of me started to think that maybe I couldn't make it. I didn't give up, and I found a narrow strip of river where the water wasn't really deep, but the current of the water was slightly stronger. So I had to find a way to use its force to my advantage. What a dirty water. I think I've used all the energy I had to cross the river. I still remember when I was around 14, 15, I was coming every day with my friends here playing and swimming in this river. The level of the water rose more than I expected, and the current was so strong. By the way, I ain't that stupid. All my gear is safe. Why? Because I tend to compartmentalize all the gear in dry sacks. This gray one was the one for batteries, camera gear, etc. And my main one with all the emergency gear. So I put inside every piece of kit I wanted to keep it dry. This is also my way to organize all my gear. Actually, I have one for each situation. I mean, all the mountaineering gear in one dry sack, all my bushcraft gear in another one, survival gear and emergency gear in another one, and I usually label each one. So for me is fairly fast to choose what gear to carry because everything is already organized, and I just have to choose what backpack, and then I throw the dry sack in it and I'm good to go. Another reason is I don't like dry backpacks. I've used some and they're pretty rigid, not very comfortable in the long term. So I'm very tired. I still have at least 12 to 15 kilometers to bug in and reach my home. And I think I'm gonna find a place to rest, have some meal, and rest till tomorrow morning. And then I will complete the plan. I also have to recharge all my batteries. They ran out pretty quickly, more than I expected, and I didn't bring many. I'll see you in a few hours. The sound of the bird chirping gently woke me up. The forests around my area are so alive. Despite it was just a drill, I felt like it was happening for real. The struggle, the effort, the adrenaline pumped when I was crossing the damn river, that was real. Good morning. It's been a rough night. I rested a little bit. After river crossing, all my clothing was wet. Even after all the walk, I had to change my shirt and I had to hang it to make it dry out. I put some merino wool first layer in order to keep myself warm during the night. I set up a very easy shelter, the Carinthia Pro poncho tarp, an emergency blanket on the ground to protect me from it. And I used the poncho liner as a quilt or a blanket. I didn't change my underwear, I changed my socks. It's summer season, so it can be humid after all the heavy rain we had lately and the floodings that happened around here. But it wasn't that cold, and the Carinthia poncho liner seems to work very well. Can't wait to test it out during the winter season. Of course, I'm not going to make any breakfast. It's an emergency situation. We're not camping. So I think I'm gonna drink one of these gel and pack everything up and then move on. My pants dried pretty quickly. These are the Vida Pro Pants synthetic version. This is a great synthetic shirt made by Through Dark. This is part of their Orion series. It took few hours to dry it out, so I'm pretty happy. I really love this forest. It's pretty dense, full of spiders, but that's the right season for them. You can see 1,000 spiders here. None of them are poisonous, they are just ugly. Bye-bye, amazing forest. It's time to start marching towards my goal. I've started running and marching with a pack several years ago. And find your rhythm is something very important. The right pace keeps you marching longer distances without reaching an extreme exertion. And be aware of your area is crucial. We should know as much as we can about our neighbor, at least within 5 kilometers radius, at the point that a map or a compass will become useless. But meanwhile I was marching, I found something interesting on my path. A very small and old abandoned home that I didn't know of. These places always make me think about how life was when the owners were living here. So many memories hidden in these rotten walls. It's time to go back and stick to the plan. The hot weather was killing me. My legs were starting to sore a little bit, but every step gave me the right motivation to keep going. And the fact that I'm not doing this only for myself makes me more motivated. I actually didn't stop drinking, I just kept moving forward. Home and my family was getting nearer. There was nothing more important than that. Finally, I reached my village. I sped up a little bit using my last resources. Mission accomplished. Finally back home. We made it. Damn pack. Next time I will show you how to play chess instead. I truly hope you enjoyed the video. Pretty exhausting, but fun. 15.3 kilometers. It took me 3 hours and a half. The average pace was around 4 kilometers per hour. The weight of my pack was around 12 kilos. So I made it. The weather is becoming warmer, so it's get tougher. I need to hydrate a little bit. That's the first episode of a series that I'm gonna make. Thanks also to you that gave me a lot of ideas. I will split this SHTF series in several episodes. This is the first one. This one is based on my case, my personal life, and what I should do just in case something happened around my area. As I promised, Plan AAA is my biggest emergency plan. We have 2 safe houses. One is here, where I am now and I'm filming this video. And the other one is in Tuscany, where my lifetime partner grew up. This plan that I call AAA is still on the paper. I need to start trying it and see if it works, because the idea will be to start from here, get my parents at their home, then drive for around 330 kilometers towards the second safe house where my lifetime partner took shelter. And I'm gonna have to do it avoiding highways. I should use only secondary roads, off-roads, etc. to get to the second safe house. I think in the bigger picture, moving from Lombardy to Tuscany will be better, because better air, there's a lot of wildlife, you are nearby the sea, so you have a secondary escape route. I will show you in the future episode. Will come out something related to seaside, kind of SHTF. That's the Plan AAA. It's still on the paper in my mind, working on details, you know. But I just wanted to share it because we always should think about the bigger picture. That's it for today. I'll see you in another video. Be prepared.